Hi, what a better place to make a video than poolside. Yeah, I'm totally naked except for my Speedos. No, obviously, I don't wear Speedos. I was having a little discussion of a person on YouTube of absolutely no consequence and even lesser intellect. And first, let me start off by saying that I used to do hardware tech support for Apple. I was the number one person in the world doing tech support on the MacBook Air. And so far as lenses, the one thing I even know more about lenses than is hard drives. And I used to encounter stuff every day for years and years. Also, when I worked at Lexmark for tech support. Those were professional printers, by the way. And people would call in and they'd say, oh my God, I got all my data on this hard drive and it's lost. And of course, redundancy is God. And of course, that's such an important statement. I need to repeat it 2 more times because everybody else needs to repeat it to themselves also. Redundancy is God. Redundancy is God. And one of the big mistakes a lot of the idiot YouTubers are making, and I'm a big fan of Nikon. I'm not a fan whatsoever of the Nikon Z6 or Z7, ignoring the fact that they've been recalled. They're not professional cameras, but this is not about the Nikon Z series of cameras. They only have one media card slot. Now, there's only one such thing when it comes to digital camera recording, and those are digital media cards. It doesn't matter whether it's CF cards, XQD, Compact Flash Express, or SD cards. Let's point out the 800-pound gorilla in the room is that nobody out there, even the dumbest of people, are not reporting that they're stepping on, their media cards, or, their dogs are chewing them up, except for like a super rare instance. So the concern, or lack thereof, of SD cards versus XQD cards, specifically the robustness of XQD cards, this is a complete non-issue. What is important is when someone conflates, unintelligently I might add, that external casings on the XQD cards are more robust than those of SD cards. This has nothing to do with digital data volatility. Single point failure is single point failure. Specifically, in getting back to my primary point, is I used to get questions all the day from seemingly every day. There's so many thousands of them where people literally lost their jobs because all their company's important data was on 1 or 2 hard drives and issues migrated, or they say, oh, I bought the most expensive hard drive money can buy. And I have hundreds and hundreds of hard drives myself. And like the best, most robust hard drive is still single point failure. Those would be Western Digital black drives that have actually been superseded by another drive, but it doesn't matter. And those are professional server grade hard drives. Single point failure makes no concern over the robustness of the recording hardware itself, whether that be SD cards or XQD cards. I myself, specifically myself, have had 2 XQD cards take a dump on themselves. Yes, one was a Lexar and one was a Sony. I only have 2 Sony XQD cards. This is fallacious to... there's not a single professional photographer, by the way, that would go to a shoot without data redundancy. They would never do it. People say, well, like this idiot YouTuber, for example, just not that intelligent, making false analogies. And one thing that actually marks unintelligent people is they'll make false analogies. They'll say, well, there's risks in every life. You could have a heart attack tomorrow. You could be struck by a car. It's called a neat little thing called risk mitigation. And the parable for this is that chance favors the prepared mind. And if you do risk mitigation, like your seatbelt and not driving while drunk, and not driving at like 3 a.m. on a Friday, which is when all the drunk people hit the road after the bars close, this is a neat little thing called risk mitigation. And data redundancy is God. XQD cards are no more robust except for their outer casing than is a compact flash card, is an SD card, because digital data volatility, look that up, and look up single point failure. This person, of course, as well as many other people, they don't know what risk mitigation is. They don't know what single point failure is. They think, well, and by the way, these are the same Nikon. I'm a big fan of Nikon. I'm not a fan of the Nikon Z series cameras because they suck. Let's just forget about the fact that both of them have been recalled. These are the same idiots, the same Nikon hardcore people. I'm a Nikon hardcore people, and I've got Nikon tattooed right there in my hand. These are the same idiots that were pissing and moaning at all the Sony people with their single card slot that Sony had for years and years and years. But whoa, all of a sudden Nikon came out with 2 cameras with a single media card slot. Doesn't matter if it's XQD, doesn't matter if it's SD. Well, how often does shit fail? It's nothing to really concern yourself with. Yeah. So, weren't you the same, not meaning you, weren't you the same pathetic idiots that were pissing and moaning and bitching and had your thong wedged up your butt crack at the Sony people for years and years about their unprofessional single card slot? Well, nothing has changed. It doesn't matter whether it's damn Sony or damn Nikon or anybody else. Single card slot is not a professional way to do any sort of photography. It's just not, unless, of course, you got a single card slot that's tethered also to a computer. You're still dumping the redundant data to your computer, like Phase 1 cameras, for example. Those are indoor kitty cats, if you will. They're meant for indoor product photography. They're meant to be tethered to computers in most instances. Yeah, for portraiture and product photography. So single media, because that's also the same BS that the insane Nikon fanboys bring. And I'm a Nikon fanboy, but it's the same insane BS. Well, that $50,000 Phase 1, it doesn't have dual media card slots. I mean, it's professional. That's an indoor pussycat camera. That's not meant for taking out and about to weddings and in the field. Well, however, a very, very small number of people do that. Okay? You see, digital data volatility has nothing to do with how robust the outer shell of that XQD card is relative to an SD card. I mean, when's the last time someone said, all my data was destroyed because I dropped my SD card on the pavement and then a truck ran over it, and my God, if that would have been an XQD card, my data would have been safe. Instead, it was one of those goddamn... No one, I've never even heard a single person bitch about that. Not a single one. Anybody with 5 brain cells is not letting their dogs chew up their SD cards, running over them in their pickup trucks. I hate pickup trucks, by the way, because most people own them, don't actually ever use them, but that's completely off topic. This sort of lack of intelligence and understanding and making false analogies, I don't, who gives a damn if you like the Nikon? Actually, I've said since day one, the Nikon Z6 camera is a well-made camera. It doesn't have sufficient user interface, has inferior autofocus, and the output is wonderful. Of course, the camera has been recalled, but it's not a camera for professionals. I know several hardcore professionals, one of which is the famous photographer Benjamin Kanarick. In his exact words, I'm going to paraphrase here since I can't remember his exact word for word. He said, I never use that camera. It's only got a single card slot. I would never show up to a gig, where all this stuff, like people and lighting and, with a single card slot and have, risk of failure. Those were his exact words, paraphrasing, but I mean, that's 99% of what he said. It is a professional photographer, What's the deal? Doesn't nobody understand data redundancy? Is it a completely foreign well, it's an XQD card, his suckers are tough. Yeah, they are. But what's inside them is not any tougher than what's on an SD card or a micro SD card or a compact flash card. Not any tougher at all. It's just not. Cut the BS. Cut the BS. Yeah. This foolish YouTuber was telling me I never get out. Of course, I've done more shooting in the past 3 weeks than he's done all year long. Right now, I'm sitting half naked out in the pool. I got sunburns on my shoulders. Yeah, and that's not from lounging at the pool. I actually have been in the pool in like month. I don't know when's the last time I've been in the pool. But Mr. YouTuber, this person that I'm speaking with, I've done more shooting in the past 3 weeks than you've done all year long. So don't give me your BS about me sitting in my basement. I love it when people tell me that. I think it's actually so funny. You sit in your basement, bitching and moaning. You fat tattooed monkey. Well, the fat tattooed part is correct, but I've done more shooting than you have in the past 3 weeks than you've done all year long. So, stay on topic. Yeah, not meaning you people. Stay on topic. You want to have a debate about single point failure? I'll run you up one side and down the other. Let's talk about data volatility. Has nothing to do. Because those are the same idiots. I really have to reiterate. For years and years, I bought the most expensive goddamn hard drives money can buy, and it failed. It's like, yeah, I know. I have those really expensive server-grade hard drives are meant to run hard and long. You know, it's kind of like a hard drive on Viagra with armor. But you know what? In the end, it doesn't make any difference because redundancy is God, and it doesn't matter how expensive your hard drive is. And I have hundreds and hundreds of hard drives, literally. It doesn't matter how expensive your goddamn hard drive is because it's single-point failure, okay? And the binary ones and zeros that are recorded on those oxidized and plated aluminum platters, yeah, they have the exact same data volatility as the cheapest consumer grade crap hard drive that you buy at Best Buy, which would be like a Western Digital Green, or actually the best one would be crap hard drive, a Seagate. Yeah, Seagate. Actually the highest failure rate. Yeah, the highest failure rate per 1,000 units is a Seagate. Yeah. So it doesn't matter if you buy a Seagate or an expensive Western Digital Black. This is the same sort of BS analogy, you know, this knuckle-dragging buffoon and countless others were using. Oh my God, these XQD cards, they're robust. You know, that shit's tough. It doesn't matter. Because data volatility has nothing to do with that tougher external casing on that XQD card media. It's a digital media stick, square, device. Cut the BS. These are the same people, like I said, that were pissing and moaning at Sony for having a single media card slot for years and years and years. And now Nikon's got one card slot. And there's these, well, that's not a problem. I mean, how often do these damn things fail? We call that word hypocrisy. That's the word we're looking for, hypocrisy. Peace out, Girl Scout.